The following podcast is recommended for mature audiences only. The following podcast is recommended for adults only. Maturity is not a requirement.
Hello and welcome to Dear Download, a podcast about Download Festival, music and the industry, and all other aspects related to rock and heavy metal. This episode is our second episode of our Countdown to Download episodes. I didn't actually say that once last episode, but yes, we are fully into our Countdown to Download. This is our second episode covering all the bands that are playing on the Saturday. I am Adam, and as always, I am here with Simon. How are you doing, my man?
Hello and good day to you, sir.
How have you been the last couple of weeks?
Yeah, not bad. Not bad. Yeah, all good.
Yep. Anything new?
Yeah.
Nothing else?
The only thing I've got to plug on the top of the show is the band's single, Hope is Damned, Ashes by Dawn, will be out on Friday.
Friday, isn't it? Yeah.
By the time people
Nice.
are listening to this, the song will already be out. So yeah, go and check it out.
Awesome. Yeah, I think I pre-saved that on something that you put out on social media.
Oh, DistroKid. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's what we're using for distribution. So yeah, wicked. Awesome. Thanks, dude.
Okay. But will that mean it will be distributed to Spotify as well?
Yeah, it
Is that-
goes everywhere. Spotify, Apple, Amazon, all of them. It will be on like 23 different streaming sites. YouTube Music, because I know Chid's asked me the other day,
Oh.
obviously he only uses YouTube Music. It'll be on YouTube Music as well. It will be absolutely everywhere.
Nice. Oh, I'm looking forward to that. Really am.
Yeah, it's good. I hope people like it. It's only, just a little taste really. But yeah, it's pretty cool to have something out there. We got a lyric video as well.
Have you?
All done.
Very nice. I
So-
like some of them that look really, really good.
Well, it's the cover, sort of different elements of the cover, and the cover is really cool when you see the cover, and loads of stuff, and yeah, it's pretty cool actually with all of the magical lyrics that I have written. So
Nice.
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool, man.
Pretty sick.
Really awesome. Looking forward to
yeah.
it.
What about you? Let me ask you. What about you, sir? How has your week or 2 weeks been?
Yeah, nothing really new from me, if I'm honest. Same old stuff. Although today I am feeling a bit like Jason Statham in Crank. Crank? Was it It's Crank, wasn't it?
Crank.
Yeah.
Crank.
Yeah. Yeah, not that I'm full of energy, but I feel like if I stop for too long, my back will seize up and everything will hurt, and I won't be able to move anymore. So we'll see see if I can actually stand up after doing this.
It's a great film, by the way. The first one and the second one, I think they're both absolutely incredible movies.
Yeah, cool. Yeah, nothing else from me, but we've got a few things from us, haven't we? That we need to plug.
We do indeed.
Before we
Big news. Not plug. We need to announce.
Announce. Yes. Sorry. Announce. Sorry. I'm not used to moving on so quickly. But yes. So we have got a couple of massive things to announce. The first one actually has already been announced, and that's the fact that we are performing at Download again.
To be fair, we've known about this for a while, and we've been sort of biting our tongues because we haven't been able to say anything.
Yeah.
So it was nice. It's nice now to finally be able to say we're playing, guys.
Yeah.
Because I think that some people might have had an inkling. We might have hinted to it previously, but we didn't actually say. So
Yeah. We well, to be honest, we knew pretty much as soon as we got off stage last year because of how well we did, how well we were received. Well, maybe the day after. But it was sitting and waiting for that official email to come through. And it came through about a month and a half later than it did last year. So I mean, we look at how Download works and everything. But there's many elements of it that we don't really know the workings of. So all we had to go on was last year, the beginning of November, they asked us to play. So we're like, okay, we'll take that as what to go on. If they ask us probably about the same kind of time. And November came around and went. December came and went. It was like the middle of
we were like,
January.
They don't want us. They don't want us anymore.
But yeah, so I've been we've been trying to write a few things for it, and we've got some cool ideas that we're gonna.
Oh, definitely.
show.
Yeah, we're definitely gonna top last year 100%.
Yeah.
With the stuff that we'll be coming up with for it. So yeah, can't wait.
Yes. Really quickly actually as well, before moving off of this, so we know that we're going to be on the Wednesday this year, not the Thursday, on the Courtyard stage. We haven't said that. On the Courtyard stage, which is in RIP. We haven't been given a time just yet, or how long we've got. I know I'm pretty sure we're the only podcast on that day. So whether they're gonna give us or want to give us double the amount of time because of how well we proved ourselves last year, whether
that's too long.
Whether we can fill that
can be
long.
too much of us. Yeah.
It's definitely
we'll keep it short and sweet, I think, but yeah.
But yes, so we have heard that it is going to be before any of the bands start again. So last year on the Thursday it was at 1:00, wasn't it? Yeah, 1 to about.
Yeah, so I would have thought early afternoon for us, probably around the same time this year, just before the bands come on. We will come and get everyone ready and pumped up and having a good old laugh before the bands come on.
Yeah. So so if you want to see us there, get there nice and early on the Wednesday so you can come down and have some fun with us.
That was you.
2 more things. We are going to be opening the shop. We said about it last episode. I did say probably around the 1st of March. 1st of March is gone already. The 1st of May is what I was supposed to say. And that is still on track. We're going to be opening the shop the 1st of May for 2 weeks. So it'll be the 1st of May, which is a Wednesday, I believe. So this comes out on a Sunday. So it's only a couple of days, maybe 3 days after this episode has come out. So get in the shop early, get everything you want, because we've got limited stock for everything. And I expect a lot of the things to sell out in those 2 weeks. So yeah, get in there early. Once the shop is closed, I'll send everything out probably within the next couple, like 2 or 3 days after that. So you should get it. You should all get your stuff nice and early for Christmas. Not for Christmas. You should all get your stuff with a good amount of time before download.
And we've got some really cool stuff this time, guys. We won't spoil anything for you, but we have some really cool stuff. So yeah, I'm excited about what everyone's going to think about all the stuff that we've got. So yeah, good times.
And Simon, do you want to unveil the other one that we haven't talked about yet?
I will unveil another plan, not only on top of us playing download, on top of us opening our store, we are also teaming with Broken Day Clothing to bring you an exclusive Dear Download times Broken Day t-shirt. And the design is friggin' awesome. I won't spoil too much, but let's just say it's based around the download dog, possibly the demise of the download dog. Looks really, really cool. That will also be coming out on the 1st of May. So the day that we open the store will be the same day that our Broken Day t-shirt is released. I don't know about prices and all that sort of stuff. We're just sorting that at the moment, but all of the stuff will be on social media. We'll have links all over the place for it. But trust me, you guys are going to love this t-shirt because I was like, this design is amazing. So yeah, big up Broken Day because they really did sort of know exactly what to do with us. And so we're really happy about that. So yeah, so there's going to be loads of stuff on the 1st of May, man. It's going to be a party. I can't wait.
Yeah.
It's so sick.
Yeah, it's going to be awesome. They have got, you're saying about how good our shirt looks, but they have got some absolutely stunning other shirts already in the shop there as well. So
I'm sure people will go and look at ours and there'll be a couple of shirts that they'll see that they'll be like, that design is absolutely sick as well. I've seen loads of their I'm very poor at the moment, but if I wasn't so poor, I would probably buy quite a lot of their t-shirts because they actually look pretty sick. So yeah,
cool.
If you got more money than me, spend some money because they got some good shit.
But yeah, so as Simon said, we're going to be posting about this everywhere from the 1st of May, probably a couple of days before as well. So if you're not sure where to go, come to our Facebook or Instagram. We'll be in the Linktree, which you can find in the episode description of all of our episodes. And I think that's it. Everything I would say. The links will be everywhere. You won't be able to get away from us, to be honest.
For a couple of days, we'll be taking over the airwaves. Definitely.
Yeah, we are going to become System of a Down's mesmerized for a couple of days. and you will not be able to get away from us.
I like it. I like it.
Do you know what? There's another band.
Analogies.
Similar thing, actually. We'll get into it. That the same thing happened with Cradle of Filth when I listened to them. Nymphetamine, I was just like, this takes me back, man, to when this was out.
Yeah.
So on that, shall we get started with talking about every band playing at Download Festival 2025? I was about to say on the something stage, but we're not doing that yet. We're talking about all the bands. Shall we get started talking about all the bands playing on the Saturday at Download Festival this year, 2025? You happy? You ready to go?
I'm ready, mate. I am stoked.
Super stoked.
Super stoked.
Get it right, man. Super stoked. So,
okay, before we get started, I will just say the disclaimer that I say every time we do this episode. Adam is reading out the bios of these bands. He did not write any of these. So if these come out in some form of broken English and they're not quite written like a human would write them, or even an AI would write them for any sort of purposes, because some of them don't make sense. So Adam will try and do his best. He is not a simpleton. Well, he is a little bit of a simpleton, but not that simple. Okay, so don't come at him if none of these make sense. He will try and make sense of them where he can.
Excellent. And in the shop, you'll be able to bid on who's going to become the next Dear Download host replacing Simon after that comment. So on the Saturday, we are starting with the Dogtooth stage, and opening the Dogtooth stage is a band called RTO. And I gotta say, one thing I like about this day, there are so many short bios. There's a couple of really long ones, but most of them really short. So
good.
Yeah, good for me. I haven't got enough apple juice to get through the long ones. There we go. Fucking dragging it out already. RTO. RTOmusic.com. Ray, they, them. Rob, he, him. Jay, they, them. Luan, he, him. That's it. And that's what a lot.
Bio, bro.
That's what a lot of this episode is going to be like.
Okay.
What do you think of
that's
RTO?
Fine. RTO. Okay, I have in my notes modern electronic driven pop metal ? Like a weird mix of Bring Me the Horizon and Paramore. Those are the sort of vibes that I got from it. It's good. Production's good. Everything's good. It's not my sort of thing at all, but had a really good sound. I can see why people would like this band.
Okay. Yeah. I disagreed a little bit. Well, on the sound bit. So, yeah, I've written some catchy songs, slow to slowish songs, but catchy anyway. The distortion on the guitar sounded horrible though to my ears. Some people may like that. Some people may, it might be what's in at the minute. I don't know. But to me, it just sounded like muddy. I don't know if you picked up on that at all.
No, I don't remember it now. I have to wait in my notes, but I might go back to it and listen and see exactly what you didn't like about the distortion.
Yeah. Or it could have been something part of the electronic bits of it. But another disclaimer, actually, not a disclaimer, but another thing to say at this point, actually, though, as well, is I might have listened to some completely different songs to Simon. And so we might have completely different impressions. You might have different impression to me or to both of us, depending on what song.
Well, last episode, we were on the same page pretty much the entire time. So, yeah we'll see if this day differs a lot.
Okay, that was RTO. Lastel are up next. And their bio just says, exist with us. That's it.
I like that.
Yeah.
That's cool. Yeah, I like that. Yes, they reminded me of a mix of Holding Absence and Alexis on Fire.
Okay.
A lot of sort of post-hardcore kind of sound. Yeah, I enjoyed it. I thought it was good. I didn't listen to a lot, but the couple of songs that I did listen to, I thought it was pretty good, actually.
Yeah. Is that you done? Yeah,
That's
cool. Sorry, I didn't want to jump in too.
Why were you waiting for me? I stopped.
Yeah, sorry. Interesting that you said Holding Absence and Alexis on Fire.
Mm-hmm.
So I've written slow melodic songs, reminded me of Funeral for a Friend a little at first, or at least some of the slower songs they have. And interestingly, their drummer does the screamy bits too. I did wonder after if they sounded the same because obviously your breathing is different when you're drumming. So you're screaming, it might have sounded the same because of how they breathe when they're drumming and or something along those lines. I've never really looked into that kind of thing.
Okay, no, that makes a lot of sense though. So that's where you got that funeral vibe from. Okay, because the screaming's at the same sort of pace because they're drumming. I get that. It makes perfect sense.
It felt powerful, even though they were slow songs. I'd imagine listening to these guys would make you feel pretty good. I quite like Lestelle, and if I end up listening to some more, they could well be my anti-saint / defects of this year.
Every year you're going to add a band onto that.
Yeah.
So like in 10 years' time, it's going to be like 10 band names, but you're going to have to remember all of them.
Yeah, absolutely. But yeah, there's usually a band that both of us absolutely fall in love with and we can't stop listening to up until the day we go to download. So yeah, Lestelle, I think they were quite good. I think they were quite a bit bigger than the next few bands, but I wonder if that was just to get people into the arena early. Maybe it's like a hook to get people.
Oh, I get you.
Yeah.
Okay.
But yeah, I really liked them.
Very good. Yeah, they were very good.
Awesome. That was Lestelle. Bastardane are up next. Founded in the basements of the sludgy, punk and psych metal scene of Savannah, Georgia, and relocated to Los Angeles, California, Bastardane is a three-piece group of noisemakers that bring a new air of ruckus. The world needs wild, scruffy, unwashed youths who don't care about bullshit. Youths who want nothing more than to throw themselves and their gear into a transit van and survive the roadways of America, huffing from gig to gig with nary much more than a pot to piss in, one bar of Irish Spring between them, and a stack of ramen to bridge the hunger gap between gig sandwiches. Most importantly, the world needs these youths to make music that is weighted in lead whilst carrying a cracking riff. Propelled by feral sledgehammer drums, an overall Sabbath meets COC air, and a total disregard for convention within that framework. The world that includes you needs Bastardane. That is a cool write-up.
Yeah, I like that. Rock and roll may not be dead with these guys around.
Yeah.
It's very, very, very rock and roll. Weird they mentioned COC because I've put COC as well, which is weird. So I put, Bastard, heavy rock. I put remind me of Corrosion of Conformity, and a little bit of Clutch as well. They've got that sort of bit about, but more sort of the Corrosion. They've got that low-end riffage, like the vocals. That sort of stuff isn't really my bag. But these guys were doing it so well, I was into it. I was definitely like moving my head along to it. Not normally the sort of stuff I go out my way to listen to, but they're very good. So I can see them continuing on their path if they do well. Hopefully they do. They have a lot of people watching them. Yeah,
cool. I've said
there isn't many young bands that sound like this now. That kind of 90s low end bluesy, doomy kind of sound.
Yeah.
There's not that many bands that really sound like that now. So they definitely are standing out from the pack of bands. Yeah. So, really cool.
Yeah, I think you probably know a few more bands like that than I do. So I've written, instrumentally, they actually remind me a lot of very early Saliva, which again are quite bluesy.
Oh, yeah.
Maybe a smidge more bluesy. But the downside is the production sounds similar too. So when I say very early Saliva, like before their first album, so before the album that had Click Click Boom on it, they had an album out and it just sounded very sludgy. And I don't know if that's what they're going for. You've said recently that people are deliberately having sort of worse production than they could have. It's the sound that they
just more
want.
Designed production. Yeah, production is almost too good now, where everything sounds big and boomy, and I think people are finally going, do you know what? Let's sort of do this so it has a sound rather than everything sounding perfect all the time. Which is an amazing idea, and it makes you stand out. It gives you that your own sound rather than everyone sounding so clinical and everything so perfect, and every single vocal is done to an effect where nothing's out of key or there's not one mistake, or the guitars are perfect and there's no. I like that people are finally realizing that and going, actually, we're going to make our sound this way because it will sound completely different to everyone else. I wouldn't say it's bad production. I'd say that kind of production suits that kind of music. If you go and listen to any of the COC stuff, it will be very similar to that kind of production. So I wouldn't say bad production. I'd say more sort of engineered and pointed a certain way production.
Yeah. Yes. Okay. I agree with you. That's probably where I was going with it. Using.
But you hit the nail on the head. See, dude, we've been doing this for so long now. You're talking about songs production.
Yeah.
Think of how far we've come on this podcast,
yeah, that's
dude.
True. Yeah. Yeah, cool. So yeah, we've pretty much got the same thing for that one again. Yeah.
Yeah, this is going well.
Yeah. That was Bastardane. Next up is Zetra. Oh, it's a long one again as well. Spectres have been stirring in the shadows for years now. Dark eyes watching the pallid faces, siren songs calling to lost souls in the blackest corners of the UK underground, a name whispered relentlessly amongst the faithful, first with curiosity, then soul-shuddering awe. Zetra. I don't know if that's going to pick that up. Travelling alone, armed only with synths, guitars, and drum machine to compose, the Wanderer's music could sound skeletal. Instead, its early metallic bones have been fleshed out with the electronic new wave of Gary Newman and Pet Shop Boys, and dreamy, droning guitars that hark to heroes like Slowdive and Sonic Youth, as well as dark contemporaries Deaf Heaven and Alcest. As harsh as the truths with which they deal may be, these songs deliver beguiling brilliance. There's more. I'm actually going to read. I'm quite enjoying this one. I'm going to read some more. Acolytes to spread the word of Zetra aren't hard to find. British contemporaries like Burner and Wallowing, Celestial Sanctuary, and Employed to Serve have been dementedly singing their praises as far back as they can remember. Tours with the heavyweights like Creeper and God. Okay, that's talking about who they toured with. Yeah, they toured with quite a lot of people. I'm not going to read any more of that. But I like that one. I like that write-up. What do you think of Zetra?
Yeah, it's good. Absolutely love them.
Yeah.
These guys are amazing. Yeah, so I've got synth-infused metal, some synthwave, a little bit of shoegaze, a little bit of 80s stuff in there. Sometimes verging on goth metal. Absolutely loved it. Vocals are great. It's a 2-piece, so I'm not really sure how that's going to work live. I guess then they're going to play synths, have a drum machine, and play some guitars as well.
Yeah,
I don't really know. But I absolutely love the vocals, love the sound. I love all of that 80s synthy stuff. I listened to pretty much everything that they have.
Oh, really? Nice.
Because I was like, I really, really love this. So this is my first nailed on I Will Not Be Missing band of the weekend.
Nice.
But yeah, absolutely loved it. It was right up my alley.
I didn't like it that much. It's interesting they wrote Alcest in there because we talked about them last episode. And
we did, yeah.
It's not the kind of thing I like normally, but that just something hooked me in. But yeah, I wasn't a fan of these. So I've written, yeah, there's no way to better describe them than their own write-up. A+. It's moody. They know exactly what they want to do with their music, and they're doing it well. But it's not for me.
It's fair. Yeah, fair.
Cool. And that was Zetra. Next on the Dogtooth stage is Underside. They have no write-up. What do you think of Underside?
Yeah, cool. I've written metal from Nepal.
Yeah, I think
they're from
something
Nepal.
like that, yeah.
Quite foreign. Yeah, some hardcore, like emo choruses. A good mix, actually, quite well done. I like the vocals. They have like an edge of new metal to them. You can sort of hear that it's a like a different perspective from a different country of metal, which I love about some of these bands that come out, because you're like, it does sound like everything else, but also it doesn't sound like it. I don't know really how to explain it, but still very good, very well done. Liked the vocals. They had the sort of new metal, hook choruses.
Yeah.
No, I thought, like I didn't like love it, but I did thought it was done really, really well, and it was cool.
Yeah, cool. I think I had the same as you. As soon as the music started, I felt like I was going to enjoy this. It would fit in well with the magazines on the free CDs you get on magazines from the early 2000s.
Oh, definitely.
The slower songs would definitely sound at home alongside Stained and Puddle of Mud, and the faster songs with Murder Dolls and Stone Sour. But I'm really enjoying Underside.
Nice.
Yeah, they were good.
Yeah, I totally agree.
They were really good. So it was Underside. Holy Wars are on next. They also have no bio. What do you think of Holy Wars?
All right, cool. Straight into some of these. Holy Wars. By the sound of it, I thought they were going to be a thrash band because of the Megadeth song. I thought, oh yeah, it's going to be a thrash band. Yeah, it was definitely not. They are a pop rock band.
Yeah.
It was fine, but not for me. I didn't listen to much. I listened to it and thought, okay, that's fine.
Yeah. Okay. So I've got they've got some absolutely massive songs, some really great catchy songs, but not the sort of thing I listen to normally. The same as a lot of these types of bands. Yeah, not for me. I can understand the appeal though. And that one was Holy Wars. Next up is Teen Mortgage. Another short one. Garage punk duo from Washington DC. https://teen-mortgage.myshopify.com/ / even yes.
Nice. Yes, Teen Mortgage. Really good modern punk. I really liked it. Probably would be really good live. Most punk is really good live. But I was definitely bopping my head to this. Listened to quite a lot of them. I really liked it. I thought they were great. I've heard the name before, but never assumed what kind of band they are because I haven't listened to them. But yeah, I was pleasantly surprised about how good the punk was.
Yeah. Okay. I think I struggle to I struggle with punk generally. I've never been a big punk guy. So I didn't write anything of what I thought. This is not for me. Didn't enjoy it that much. And that was who are you? That was Teen Mortgage. The next up is The Funeral Portrait. They got a medium-sized one. Let's read this. The Funeral Portrait is a loud, emotional rock outfit from Atlanta, Georgia, with a mix of theatrics and devotion to their passion for loud, uncompromising, anthemic music. The Funeral Portrait stands to represent the outcast from all walks of life, to offer a sense of community, a place to belong, and a space where they can feel safe and accepted for their differences. We all grew up the weird kid who was saved by music and alternative culture, so we feel obligated to return this to the younger generation. This message is shouted to the masses through our over-the-top theatrics and dramatic, almost blown-out presentation. What do you think of The Funeral Portrait?
I thought American radio rock.
Mm-hmm.
They sounded very similar to Shinedown.
Mm-hmm.
Very, very similar to Shinedown. Yeah, it was fine. I'm not that big on my American radio rock bands. There are a few that I really like, but I find most of it a little bit cringy, if I'm honest.
Yeah.
So it definitely wasn't for me. But I mean, it sounded fine. It sounded like good standard radio rock. Pretty cool, but just not the sort of thing that I would go for.
Yeah, that's fair. I struggled a bit with this band. The first thing I put on was Holy Water, probably the one you put on. It's absolutely stunning song. Absolutely amazing. Like you said, it sounds very much like Shinedown. At first I thought I've found my new favourite band for a while. You know, I'm gonna dig deeper into these guys. And I listened to a lot of songs, and their sound swings a little bit too much. So not all of their songs sound like Shinedown. There are some songs that if you listen to them back to back, you wouldn't even know it's the same band. I think I felt like some bands can do that. Some bands can have like completely different sounding songs, but the vocalist's voice, I was going to say the vocalist's vocals.
Yeah.
Sounded weird. The vocalist's voice is unique enough to carry them over different sort of songs.
Oh, I get you. Yeah. That's the constant that drives you through. Yeah.
Yeah. But this guy, his vocals or his singing, the sound of his voice wasn't unique enough, I don't think, to actually go, oh yeah, this is The Funeral Portrait.
Oh, I get you. Okay.
So,
yeah.
So like I said, there's certain songs that you could put on back to back, and you wouldn't know it's the same band.
Okay, that's interesting. Actually,
yeah.
It's quite an interesting take on that. I didn't get that. I didn't probably listen to enough of it, but That's very good observation.
It's and yeah, a lot of these were interesting. Like when I found a band that I quite liked, I'd want to know more. So I'd scroll through Spotify, have a look at the albums, see how many they've got and when they first started, and maybe try and listen to some of their earlier albums to see if the sound has changed and everything.
Nice.
Yeah, and so there's a few bands that like I sat down and did that for. So that's why I was still listening to bands 10 minutes before we were supposed to start recording. We spoke about that before we started recording. Yeah. Anyway, yeah. So that was the Funeral Portrait. Very good. They're probably a lot of fun. They're probably quite good live. Have a listen to them, and have a listen to them a lot if you want to check them out. Next up is Anal Nathrak. Anal Nathrak was created for one purpose: to be the soundtrack for Armageddon, the audial essence of evil, hatred and violence, the true spirit of Necro taken to its musical extremes. Since 1999, the band has gained a reputation for embodying precisely these things, with a history including not only the release of 8 albums and an EP to rapturous acclaim, but collaborations with such legendary figures as Mayhem, Napalm Death, Testament, Dimmu Borgir, Circle of Dead Children, Watain, and so on. This alongside appearing on BBC Radio 1 at the personal behest of sadly missed icon John Peel, headlining a stage at the renowned cult Inferno Festival. Yeah, they've done a lot of stuff. Yeah, I'm not going to read any more of that. They've done a lot of stuff. What do you think of Anal Nathrak?
Why has no one told me about this band before? How has this band's first album come out in 2001 and I know absolutely nothing about this band?
I don't know.
This was absolutely mental.
I've mentioned them several times on here, but not in any context. You wouldn't have gone.
No context with them. I mean, the vocals are absolutely insane.
Yeah,
absolutely insane. Like from sounding like the guy's throat is about to explode at any moment into some pretty decent clean vocals sometimes. Like. Just all over the place.
Yeah.
Just insane. Like some extreme metal, some industrial, some actual metal, some death. It's fucking all over the place. What I've written down is, reminds me of the type of metal that Devin Townsend would make. Okay. Some of it is very similar to the sort of stuff that he would do, and like Strapping Young Lad as well. Like all of Devin Townsend's stuff where he takes everything to the fucking extremes that you can take it to.
Yeah.
That's what this reminded me of. And I absolutely love anything Devin Townsend touches. And I automatically went, holy shit, this band are amazing. Why? That's why I'm annoyed.
Yeah.
I'm actually genuinely annoyed that I haven't seen this band before.
I think they're a 2-piece as well. As far as I could, could see, which is crazy. But yeah, also going on the music, this isn't what I've got written down yet. But I noticed that quite often his vocals were just behind the beat or just off of the beat, and it was like that was quite cool, and it was obviously really good very good at doing that. But I found that interesting.
Yeah, vocals really everything really impressed me. The vocals were insane. Though I was just like, oh my god, why is no one talking about this band's vocals? Yeah. Everyone bangs on about Lorna Shore all the time. Why is no one talking about this guy's vocals? They are just nuts.
Yeah. But,
so,
like I said, a lot.
Yeah.
This is another one. I looked through a lot of their albums, and they're not that big. Some of their albums, like not even a single song, has got over 100,000 listens, which is crazy. Because I mean, I heard of this band. So a good friend of mine, Mike Ferris, also a Patreon. Thank you, Patreons. I'm Mike. I remember him talking about both this band and Agoraphobic Nosebleed back years back now. And that's why I've mentioned them on here. I've mentioned them together, talking about one or the other. I didn't know which one was which, basically. So it's a band that's always been in the back of my mind. I've noticed if I see them on something, I sort of clock it and I notice them. Whereas, yeah, like you said, if you've never heard of them, you're not going to get that in the back of your mind.
Yeah, not at all.
Yeah. But I've never actually listened to them until this. So yeah, I've written pretty damn heavy, not usually my cup of tea, and I couldn't listen to this kind of thing like regularly or all the time, but I would always enjoy it live. I love this kind of music live. I love it when you can just feel it in your chest and feel everything. But the song Forward was really good. I absolutely loved that song.
Nice.
Sick. I don't know. So I didn't always pick the top song of like on Spotify, the top 5 songs. Sometimes if like the top song has 100 million and the rest only have like 20 million, then I'll try and pick.
You'll go down to the others. Yeah. I do that.
I'm not sure where Forward sat, but like, yeah, I was just blown away by that one particular song. I tried to listen to a few others. Yeah, I still liked them, but not blown away quite as much.
I mean, I'm sure you'll agree. They are another band for me that is absolutely locked in.
I'll probably
have to see this band live. We're
going to spend half our time at downloading the Dogtooth stage.
Yeah, it's like, okay, the Friday was worse because I think there was even more bands on that stage. Like this one is only a couple for me. Spoilers.
Yeah.
But still, like strong, really good bands on the Dogtooth. We haven't looked at Sunday yet, but I have an inkling, a feeling maybe that Sunday's going to be very similar. Maybe we're those guys now. We're those guys that look at the main stage and go, I'm all right, thanks.
Maybe, yeah.
I think I'll spend my time on the Dogtooth. Yeah. Like, you know, we are those guys now. That's just what we've become.
Cool. Yeah, we'll take our chairs in there and sit down. And
maybe not that extreme.
Not but that extreme.
We're too young to be chair wankers. Yeah. Jesus.
No, I'm not. I don't feel it.
You've got a very excuse for your back could crumble at any second.
Yeah.
So you should have been a chair guy for a very long time.
Yeah, I should have.
You've been
and an airbag guy.
Yeah, you've been an idiot. Yeah. Basically, you've just been an idiot for quite a number of years now. So this year, airbed, please, and we'll get you a nice chair as well for you to sit in the arena.
Yeah. Although that I know, I'm going off a little bit from that. I know Bloodstock have like set limits, haven't they? And they've said, you know, only people with conditions can bring it in. I'm like, and I was thinking, well, how do I prove that I've got arthritis in my spine to you people so I look fairly young? So, you know, and it's one of those fairly invisible illnesses.
Well, I mean, if Download were to say that, which I doubt Download will, they've got much more space than Bloodstock, which is the main issue of Bloodstock is it's so small. You can't really have the chairs there because they do block a lot of the crowd. So I understand that at Bloodstock because it's so small.
Yeah.
At Download, it's not really a problem because everyone in the chair sits so far back.
Yeah.
But you'd probably just get a doctor's note. You just get a doctor you literally say, I'm going to a 5-day festival. I need to sit down, but I need proof that my back is bad. And the doctor would normally just write you a note just to say, blah, 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 blah.
Yeah.
So if you really did need it, you could, but you wouldn't have to worry at Download. You'll be able to bring your own chair.
Yeah. No, I know that. But it just made
Bloodstock,
me think when they announced it for Bloodstock, it made me think, well, I'd want to sit down, especially on the Sunday after being stood up for a few days with my back. Like, I bet there's a lot of people in a similar position to me where, you know, there's no proof, but they're pretty fragile, pretty brittle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Some people have ailments that you can't see immediately.
Yeah.
But they will affect them in certain ways. Yeah,
but I've not looked.
Listen, standing up in the arena all day is not easy for a person that is in perfectly good health. So if you do have any like physical issues, I can imagine it being quite difficult to stand there for all that time.
Yeah,
definitely.
But it's not something I've looked at for a while. I bet Bloodstock got quite a lot of backlash for that, and I don't know if they've said anything.
They did. I think the majority of people sort of understood because of the space and how it's going to work. So I think most people were okay with it. But obviously I'd say, you know, the older crowd were not as receptive to it because they want to sit down, which is fair. But I think Bloodstock was saying, well, there's a floor, you can sit on that. So, but anyway, we'll see how that goes down. That'll be an interesting one to talk about.
Yeah, definitely. After Anal Nathrak is Kitty. Thrust into heavy metal stardom as teenagers since their debut release, Kitty has thrashed and conquered the heavy metal world for more than 20 years. With 7 albums, over 2 million in sales and Ozfest co-headliners on their resume, Kitty has defied industry norms, fought back against women in rock stereotypes, and inspired generations around the globe since they appeared. Now, for the first time, they are sharing their untold story about the importance of family, perseverance, and the upside-down hurricane of rock and roll that includes a rotating lineup of bandmates, ongoing lawsuits, and the pressure to live up to expectations that put them on the map. Full stops, please. More of them. Kitty Origins/Evolutions is generously peppered with archival footage shot by the band, which gives an honest and brutal look at what it takes to survive in the music industry and the price of following your dreams. And that was cool. Is that the album, or is that?
I think it's a documentary.
I thought it sounded like that. I would actually want to watch that. I didn't know that was a thing until reading this a couple of days ago.
Yeah, me too. I'd watch that, definitely.
Yeah.
They were big in the time when a lot of our favourite bands were.
Yeah.
So that'll probably be a really great watch, actually.
Yeah. Yeah. I'll go into a bit more of that. What do you think of Kitty?
Yeah. Kitty, a great band. I've put down classic new metal/metal band. They're not just new metal, they're new metal sound, but they are more metal-y. I have a lot of respect for this band. Like they wrote, they were basically the only full girl band when metal was literally at its biggest.
Yeah.
So they were sort of holding up the fort by themselves. I know there were girls in other bands, of loads of big bands, but yeah, they were so different to everyone else as well because they were a girl band, and they probably did prove a few people wrong because they're actually quite good.
Yeah.
So it's good, and obviously they were huge. They sold loads of records. Obviously they sort of surfed along the coattails of everyone else around the time. This band has toured with everyone. Look at any like good metal poster from like 1998 to like 2004. You can guarantee Kitty are on it somewhere.
Yeah.
Like the experience these girls must have had going through all that must have just been fucking unreal.
Yeah.
So yeah, really cool band, really great sound. Got a lot of respect for them. They're awesome. Hopefully, I think they will get a pretty big crowd in there, I reckon.
Yeah.
I reckon that tent will be proper packed for Kitty.
Yeah, cool. I think it will be. Yeah, going on a few bits that you said and what was in there. It will be interesting. Like you said, they're the only all-girl band. I don't think there were many women in the metal industry that screamed at the time either, which was a big thing.
True, yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, they would have had an amazing time, but I bet they went through a lot of shit as well. I bet there's a lot.
I'm sure they did.
Yeah, the higher up, the men in higher up, like record labels and things like that, trying to take advantage and of like.
I'm sure they had their struggles definitely,
Yeah.
but now they're renowned. But everyone knows pretty much. Well, especially from that time, everyone knew who Kitty was. Everyone knows.
Yeah.
So yeah, fair play to them. They've done very very
Yeah.
well.
And I mean, I from my own experiences, I'm not sure if they inspired any of the people that were sort of our age really to get into music, but that's how it works. They inspired people our age who then would get their kids into more things like that. I think
Definitely.
yeah, it's just passed down.
I'm sure there's plenty of girls in bands because they saw Kitty play it and they were like, "That is awesome."
Yeah, definitely.
So
yeah, I'm actually, I don't know when that was written. I'm actually going to go and look for that at some point. But yeah, so I listened to some of their newer stuff, as well as Brackish, of course. Brackish, I've listened to Brackish hundreds of times in the early 2000s. It was so good.
Yeah.
And the new stuff sounds pretty good. I'm looking forward to watching them. That's what I've read. Last time I saw Kitty was just before El Nino on the second stage at Ozfest 2002. It went Kitty, El Nino. I think I said a couple of episodes ago El Nino headline, but it didn't. It went Kitty, El Nino, and I think 100 Reasons headlined that.
Nice.
Yeah. And actually, I'll talk about 100 Reasons in a little bit on one of these. Bugger me. Right. El Nino,
Okay.
we need some El
Nice.
Nino as well. But yeah, Kitty, that's going to be huge. It's going to be good for them as well.
Definitely.
Excellent. The next band after Kitty are Silosis. Silosis is a modern metal band from Reading, Berkshire, England. Signed to Nuclear Blast Records, the band has released 5 studio albums, a live album, and 2 EPs. From the fiery modern thrash of 2008 debut Conclusion of an Age, and its epic follow-ups Edge of the Earth and Monolith. Oh, stop talking about albums. It's difficult to read those sentences. Silosis have proudly flown the flag for fiercely sophisticated but defiantly uncompromising metal. Now armed with the new music, Silosis is to make a mighty reintroduction into the international metal world. The sixth full length into this. Fuck off. They got a new album coming out probably sometime soon, or it might already be out. It might have been out years ago. That might be a very old write-up. What do you think of Silosis, Simon?
Yeah, great metal band. Really good. Some absolute riffage. I watched these guys at Bloodstock, I want to say 2023? Question mark. Really great live. Just a solid, good metal band. So yes, I enjoy quite a few Silosis tracks. I don't think, because of where they are, unfortunately, I'll be fitting them in for this weekend. But if there normally is a gap or Silosis are playing, I will definitely go and check them out.
Cool. Yeah, same as you. Just a good, solid band. I haven't really written much about them musically. I've just written, yes, I quite like Silosis. Yeah,
fair.
I do. They're quite good. Excellent. So yeah, that was Silosis, and headlining the Dogtooth stage on the Saturday is Cradle of Filth, a British extreme metal institution. Cradle of Filth emerged in 1991 with a style that leaned heavily toward black metal. As the years progressed, their sound evolved as well, with elements of gothic and symphonic metal taking over, resulting in a more commercial approach that yielded internationally charting efforts like Damnation and a Day in 2003, Thornography in 2006, Hammer of the Witches in 2015, and Existence is Futile in 2021. Cradle of Filth, formed in 1991, originally comprised of vocalist Danny Filth. Yeah, you have members. Everyone has members. It's just more names. New drummer, Nicholas Barker. Exact. Anyway, yes, Cradle of Filth. I was hoping there was more of an epic write-up for them for that, but
they're just describing what they are.
They don't really need
not much of a
to do that. Really, anyway.
No, I don't think so.
I know you love Cradle of Filth. Tell us all how much you love Cradle of Filth.
Probably too much, I'd say. Probably gets to like weird territory. No, I genuinely think that Cradle of Filth are, one of the most legendary best metal bands in the world. They've been going for 3 decades. They consistently, apart from a couple of misfires, always put out great stuff. They're entertaining, they're fun, they never take themselves too seriously. They make great merch, they have great album covers, great presentation. Danny Filth is an absolute legend. They've done movies, documentaries. This band has literally done pretty much everything you can think of that a band can do. And they still make absolutely fucking stellar albums even now. So it's just a testament of how good they've been for such a long time, which is hard to do when you're in a band. But yeah, even up to the new album, just fantastic. I just love this band so much. It's a shame I won't be watching them.
No. Oh, man. Sleep Token, yeah?
Yeah, I just said about how much I love them, but when we get to the headliner, I'll tell you. But listen, I've seen Cradle of Filth a lot. I love this band. I will get to see Cradle of Filth again, probably very soon. So, as much as I love this band and I'm obsessed with this band, there's something I want to see over it because I might never get to see it again, which is the only reason I won't be watching Cradle of Filth.
Okay.
So
cool.
But yes, I can babble on for ages, but I won't.
Yeah. Cool. Yeah. Fucking great band. Not the sort of thing I listen to very often or at all, really. I must have been getting a bit tired here at this point listening to these bands, because all I've written is, my God, Nymphetamine has taken me back to the mid-2000s, man. What a great time that was. But I can elaborate on that. Not in the early mid-2000s, but what was I going to say? Like, listening to Nymphetamine, I know obviously her Ghost in the Fog was huge as well at the time. But yeah, listening to it again made me really want to listen to more of their stuff. Like I said, it's not my kind of thing usually, but how good that made me feel. It was like I wanted to put loads more on.
That album is fucking awesome all the way through.
Yeah.
So you should just listen to that album.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, and it starts with a song called "Gilded Cunt," so you know you're off to a great start when that's your opener, basically.
So something I always used to say about Cradle of Filth a long, long time ago. I actually saw them at Ozfest 2002 as well, which is weird.
Oh, that's great.
But yeah, I know it's an interesting story about them. I'll say that in a second. And some people a lot of people probably know it. But yeah, I used to say, like, obviously, when they're on stage, he'll say, "This song is entitled," and then read half a page of the Bible. It's always
That's
really
good.
long.
That would work.
Really long songs, but a lot of them are like Bible related or stuff like God related and stuff. I think as far as
they are. Yeah, he's good. He's
or Satan related.
If you love lyrics and you love poetry and you love really creative writing, reading any set of lyrics from Cradle of Filth is just an absolute ride. The amount of detail and just the way he writes is just absolutely unbelievable. A lot of the albums obviously have stories. They're based around one subject. And God, that guy's writing is just unreal. He should write some poems or some poetry or a book or like a book of Gothic poems or something, because
he probably has.
He probably has.
Probably
but he's
already out there.
He's so good at it. The stories are so like concise and go places you don't imagine, and he uses like just weird old ways of referring to things, and you're like, fuck is going on in this guy's brain? Like, on what level is this man operating? It's very strange.
Yeah,
he's obviously very intelligent. He probably if he was tested, he'd have a very, very high IQ, I would have thought.
Yeah.
You can just see that in interviews. You can just see this guy's very, very clever.
Operates
he
little
knows
bit
exactly what he's
above
doing.
Everybody else.
Yeah, just he knows how to play it. He knows how to write. He knows how to sell. He knows exactly what he's doing. Like, so that's probably why the longevity of the band's been so good, because him at the helm knows exactly what he's doing.
Yeah.
But yeah.
That's
anyway,
cool.
Let's stop talking about Cradle of Filth.
My story
this
first.
Whole episode could talk about
little story first. Yeah, like I said, a lot of people might already know this, but there might be some people out there that didn't. In 2002 at Ozfest, they played in the middle of the day. You said it was weird at like when you saw them last time in the middle of the day. It was really sunny all day, except for one moment for about maybe half an hour, 40 minutes. As soon as they came on stage, this massive rain cloud came over and just rained their entire set, and then left when they finished their set. In my memory, in my brain, it was a bit like a cartoon cloud. It was just over the stage, but it can't have been like that. There's no way it could have been like that. But kind of like in Frozen, the snowman. I can't remember his name. I only watched it a couple of days ago. Yeah, at the end, he's got his own little sort of snow slurry.
Yeah,
flurry, even not slurry, snow flurry to keep him cold. And that's how, like, in my brain, that cloud was over the stage that day, but it wasn't. It was just incredible. And Danny Filth, he obviously made a comment on it. He was like, "Yes, we booked this rain cloud. We brought it with us," sort of thing. Oh, it was incredible. I haven't looked.
That's cool.
Couldn't believe it.
I've only got one instance of that happening to me, which was a really freaky one. You were there, so you might have experienced this. Download 2005, when Slipknot played Left Behind, it started raining at the exact same moment that it does in the music video.
That's weird.
Yes, exactly the same. It started raining exactly when it does in the music video for Left Behind. So that bit, that's the only time I've been like, wow, that's fucking weird.
I think
that's the only other time I've experienced that.
You have said that on here before. It didn't click with me at the time. If that happening, I would have been there, but it didn't click. Awesome. That was Cradle of Filth headlining the Dogtooth stage. So moving on to the Avalanche stage. So Bex is opening the Avalanche stage, and the write-up just says, "This is new punk," as in NU, like new metal, like trying to take new metal and say, "Oh no, it's new punk. How cool am I?" Anyway, reading Bex.
I put modern rock / metal sometimes. Reminded me of Cassette in parts. Good, but totally not for me.
Okay. I put, it sounds like punk, but it doesn't feel like punk. It's kind of a trendy version of punk. don't say trendy. That makes me sound like an old man.
A modern
take, yeah. But obviously, we know punk was all about like rebelling, and it was like raw sounding. But this didn't have that feel to it. I didn't think. So yeah, not for me either. And that was Bex, spelled B-E-X. That one. So Venus Girls are up next. I probably should clarify the spelling of this. The girls is spelled G-R-R-R-L-S.
Girls.
Girls. Bit like Girl camping. Girls. Yeah. Arse feck. Girls. Yes. Born from Riot Girl, Venus Girls are oh no.
He's thinking about girls. This is what happens.
I struggle with alliteration, right? Venus Girls are an it says are an alternative.
Oh, that's horrible sentence.
That's just my brain just couldn't. It didn't want to do it. Venus Girls are an that phrase I just said. Do you know what? I'll just copy that and paste it in. Listen here. Venus Girls are an alternative rock band from I hope that sounds so cranky. Rock band from Leeds. From twinkling synth motifs to raspy guitar lines, the girls present the dark yet empowering discourse surrounding their own synergistic experiences. With singer/rhythm guitarist Grace Kelly fronting the band, she is joined with Hannah Barraclough on bass, Eliza Lee. I don't really do these bits. There's not much else. They've done a lot of stuff which BBC Radio 1 have liked, apparently. And that is it for their write-up.
Yeah, cool. Venus Girls. Yeah, I really liked it. I thought it was really good. Rock with some goth elements, but also kind of reminded me of a female-led Frank Carter and the Rattlesnakes. They had that kind of sound. Also, a band called Blossoms, which they reminded me of quite a lot as well, but just with female vocals. Liked it. Really, really good. Probably one of the best girl bands we've reviewed for this, I would say, over the years. Okay. Really good. Liked it. Listened to quite a lot of their stuff. Just liked their sound in general. Thought they were really good.
Yeah. Thought you would, because they have like a grungy sound, and I'm not the biggest grunge fan. But yeah, also not particularly for me. Although it is listenable. I could listen to it for a little bit. I'm sure there was one that I said... No, it's the next one. Okay. That was the Venus Girls. And next on the Avalanche stage is Split Chain. There's a phrase you'll hear repeatedly when in the company of Split Chain. The chain does what it wants. That sounds very Game of Thrones-y, fantasy world kind of thing. As mantras go, it's used by the Bristol UK Quintet as a means of encapsulating the broad-minded, unconstrained creative freedom with which they approach their art, as well as a means through which to try to make sense of the skyrocketing trajectory the band have found themselves on. Call it instinct, fate, divine intervention, whatever, the whims of the chain have led to a moment where one thing is abundantly clear. Split Chain are one of the hottest zeitgeist-capturing new bands in the world. Split Chain is something that none of us feel like we have any control of, says frontman Bert Martinez-Cowles. Split Chain simply does what it wants and what it needs. It's pretty much more of the same of that, talking about the chain. So what do you think of Split Chain?
Really like this band. Have liked this band for quite a while. Probably year-ish, maybe a little bit more than that. They were recommended to me after I was listening to Teenage Wrist, I think. Their stuff started coming on. Different to Teenage Wrist, obviously, but I thought, oh, yeah, I like this. So I've liked quite a lot of their stuff. They're like alternative metal. I can't believe how much this band has grown. Last time I looked, they had about 30k listeners.
Yeah.
Now they're over 200k.
Yeah.
And I was like, that is amazing that literally within the space of a year, this band has grown so much, which is nice to see because I think they're brilliant. Musically, obviously hugely influenced by Deftones, modern shoegaze sort of stuff, and massive foot in nu metal as well. I've heard them talk about that they're influenced by a lot of nu metal stuff, but I think it still has that kind of groove that the nu metal bands used to have.
Yeah.
Really great. This will be my first time seeing them. So for me, they're another nailed on act, and I'm really looking forward to hearing what it sounds like live from that perspective. But yeah, really like these guys. Wicked.
Cool. Yeah, I was gonna say I've heard you talking about them before.
Yeah.
But I'd never actually listened to them. So yeah, I've written also a grungy sound with a little bit of Deftones added in. Vocals kind of remind me of Puddle of Mud. But yeah,
okay.
I put not bad actually. Not for me in general, but the songs sound good as a whole. Yeah, just had a good sound to them, I thought.
Definitely.
And I can appreciate it. Yeah, cool. I can appreciate it. Yeah. That was Split Chain. Next up is Lolo. And her write-up is, "Hi, I'm Lolo. I used to write my feelings in a diary, but now instead I tell everyone." That's it from Lolo. What do you think?
I've just got pop music. It's good, but once again, does this belong on a download lineup? ?
Yeah.
Nothing against her or the music that she makes, but there are bands that would give their metal or rock or alternative bands that would literally give their left arm to play a download, but instead we've got a pop act.
Yeah.
And I know we're an alternative festival and it is an alternative version of pop, but sometimes some of this music is just too much out of the stratosphere for me, and I think that it doesn't belong. I don't want to be some sort of weird gatekeeper that says, oh, we can only have certain types of stuff, but surely there is a limit to what you can have before we become Reading Festival.
Yeah.
And I think this is just past the limit.
Yeah. I actually think it's not necessarily just that it doesn't belong. It's like, are bands like this going to attract new people to come? I mean, I know not many bands that are on the lower stages are going to be pulling crowds in for download, but yeah, I just think it just makes the lineup a little bit weaker, and that'll just make people stop coming overall over the years. So it'll just end up getting quieter and quieter.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
And we won't say any more, but we do not believe that this will be the busiest download that they've ever had necessarily.
No.
But yes,
Yeah,
I agree.
But we could also be massively wrong on that. So
could be wrong,
yeah.
but I have a feeling we will be right. But yes,
yeah. But yeah, so I've actually got written down. It's very catchy. It could be that I find it a bit more catchy than some of the other sort of similar artists because I covered Lolo in my YouTube video a couple of months back. My one YouTube video that I did, and then gave up YouTubing. And while I was sort of writing the script for her bit, I had her music on, like, maybe not on a loop, but yeah, I listened to quite a bit of it. And sort of following her and reading her Instagram posts and everything, I started to like it a little bit more. Not saying I dislike it, but
no, I get what you mean though. Yeah, totally.
Yeah, but it'll be interesting to see. She got some absolutely massive songs though. So that was Lolo. And Mothica are on next. They have a short one again. Kissing Death, out now. Was it? Posted by Mothica.
Mothica, I've got, pop rock with some sort of Bring Me the Horizon influences in there. With sort of punchy electronic and guitar stuff. Was okay. Not for me. Didn't really dig it. Not my thing.
Yeah. They have some absolutely huge songs again. Most of them, of the most popular of theirs, are like in the tens of millions of streams. So obviously they've blown up from somewhere. You know, a lot of bands are blowing up through TikTok and things like that now. So but also not for me. Yeah, not for me. That was Mothica. Here's a good one. Smash Into Pieces are on next on the Avalanche stage. Smash Into Pieces, the notable Scandinavian alternative rock band, drops their 8th album, Ghost Code, featuring hits Heroes Are Calling and the double platinum 6 Feet Under, with a stellar 3rd place finishing in Swedish Eurovision contest for Heroes Are Calling. The band's innovative sound and vibrant energy keep captivating the global music scene. Accumulating over 1 billion streams worldwide, their creed emphasizes smashing any barriers to dreams, inspiring fans worldwide. I'm not really sure if I get that sentence. Anyway, the band, blah, 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 electro, yep. I assume this is the new album coming out. Ghost Code symbolizes their evolution and commitment to inspiring others to chase their dreams with unwavering determination. What do you think about Smash It to Pieces?
Smash It to Pieces. I've written Swedish. Because I knew that would be mentioned at some point. Yeah, I've got here that they're like the Swedish version of American radio rock. It's like American radio rock, but if it was done by a Swedish person.
Okay, I can see that. Yeah.
And then I thought his voice was unbearable.
Why? What's wrong with you, man?
I don't know. There was something about it that I did not care for.
Yeah. I can see that. I just wanted to.
But you know, like nothing against them or anything. I just thought this isn't, like I said before, that American radio rock kind of sound just is very like grey to me. It makes me think of just sort of middle of the road stuff.
Yeah.
And bands from that sort of genre have to really have something to hook me. But the music is like perfectly serviceable, perfectly good, very listenable. But yeah, it just didn't do much for me.
Yeah. Okay. I think they are absolutely huge in Sweden. Well, absolutely huge in general. I've written quite a bit about these. I did really like them. I've been introduced to them before by I think it was by Jacobs, and I listened to him and I really liked it when he showed me, and then never listened again for like 2 or 3 years or something. But have a look at this. You can have a look at this, but I'll tell you about this. So I looked into their other bands that people listen to, and like I've screenshotted, what's that, 3, 7, 14. I've screenshot 28 bands in there on Spotify other people listen to. I like half of them. Probably about half of them I've mentioned on the podcast at various times. The first one is Self-Deception.
Hey!
And there's Know Me, Citizen Soldier, Dead by April, who they reminded me of the most, Amaranth, Symphony of Sweden, of course I like them. Absolutely loads and loads of bands that are quite what's the right word? Aren't very big particularly, but I love them. Syra again. I just thought that was interesting. That I fucking love these guys. All these other guys. Yeah. So onto my write up. Yeah, man. These guys are great. Just look at these. Fans also like. I think I've mentioned at least half of them on here before. So yeah, boy band meets rock. Basically, not quite as on the nose as Dead by April, which is melodic. Have you listened to Dead by April?
No. You
should. They're very good. You might not like them. It's basically melodic death metal, but with full-blown 90s boy band singing. Like the proper, like, it's as if it's taken from a Backstreet Boys.
From a 90s boy band. Yeah. That's cool. Like that.
It's not modified in any way to sound like it's coming from there. It is exactly the same kind of singing. And I fucking loved it. So with these guys, it was similar, but they had a bit more screamy bits. Not, like I said, not quite as on the nose as Dead by April. But yeah, absolutely great. I really like these guys, as you probably expected.
Yes, I did expect this.
Yeah. Awesome. And I'm going to listen to some more of their stuff, definitely. So that was, what were they called? I've been talking about Dead by April too much.
Smash Into
Pieces.
Pieces.
That was Smash Into Pieces. Next band is Twin Atlantic, the soaring Scottish rock outfit that traffics in all the elements alternative music. Okay, whatever you want. Glasgow's Twin Atlantic emerged in 2009 and found mainstream success with their gold-selling sophomore effort Free, comprised of core, but no, we don't want to know about that. If you want to know the band members, look them up. Twin Atlantic. What do you think of? Sorry, I get sillier and sillier as the evening goes.
Yeah, I like it.
Cool.
I like it. Yeah, good alt rock from Scotland. Good band. There are a couple of their tracks that I think are good. Ones that I've heard before when I was like, oh, I know this song. I like the way that they don't try and hide that they're Scottish. Like when he's singing, he has a slight Scottish accent in some of the parts, which I like. I feel like some, especially British bands and actually Scandinavian bands, try and hide their accents too much sometimes.
Yeah.
Like I feel like the Scandinavian bands try and sing almost with like an American accent, which I don't like, and I don't like when British bands do it as well. They're kind of almost not stopping their natural tones and the way they would say things coming through. And I don't like that necessarily. So, but I like the way that these guys are like, yeah, we're a Scottish band.
Yeah.
If we sound Scottish sometimes, we sound Scottish sometimes, because guess what? We're from Scotland.
Yeah.
So I really like that element about this band. But yeah, they were very good. Very good. I might have possibly watched them before at Trees. So yes, but yeah, good band.
I've written pretty much exactly the same as you. Scottish! ! It's actually kind of odd, but not in a bad way. Most people lose their accent when they're singing. You literally just said about it. I think some people can't help it.
Yeah. You hear it with Biffy sometimes. There are certain bits in Biffy songs where you can really hear the Scottish accent.
Yeah.
And I'm like, that's great.
Yeah.
Like, I like that.
Yeah.
I like
Maybe
that.
it doesn't happen so much with Scottish, but like I think of all the accents we've got around England. And then the foreign languages, like in Newcastle, but yeah, like
that's for you, Vicky.
Yeah, people lose their accents when they're singing, and it's always baffled me. I'm not a singer, so I don't know, but I think you sort of enunciate more or better when you're singing. Or I'm gonna shut up. I'm not going to talk about that.
I think it's also to do with the stuff that you listen to. Like we listen to generally in rock and metal a lot of Americanized bands.
Okay.
So I feel like that naturally makes you pronounce and sing things in a certain way.
Right.
There are certain other genres of music, like look at grime, for instance. Like a lot of grime artists, you can tell where they're from just by the way that they're rapping, because they've got a hard London accent or wherever the region they're from.
Yeah.
So I feel like rock is it's quite Americanized overall. So
okay, yeah.
I feel like that's I think that would be one of the reasons why a lot of people's vocals don't sound like where they're from necessarily.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. But yeah, this guy doesn't lose his accent. It's quite cool to hear. Actually, not bad music either. It's nice, easy listening, and I was really enjoying listening to it.
Awesome.
Really was. They've been around for a long time as well, but I've never thought about putting them on. So I'm glad I did for this, and yeah, I'll probably catch them if I can. Yeah, it took me by surprise, and I liked it.
They're good.
Awesome. That was Twin Atlantic. Next is Mallory Knox. The rapid success of Mallory Knox's debut album, Signals, saw them reaching number 35 in the UK official albums chart. Their second album... okay, skip a bit. Music is everything to Mallory Knox. They love it so much that on the creation of their new self-titled album, they didn't want to stop writing it. Over 5 different sessions and 14 months of recording, the band worked tirelessly, never happy with what they had, and always confident that the next song they would write would be even better. Yeah, okay, that's just mostly facts about them, where they've played, their albums, accolades, things like that. Mallory Knox. Do you have...
Mallory Knox, I put alt rocky with a dash of pop punk. Kind of reminded me of You, Me at Six. It was fine. Not my kind of thing at all, but if you like that sort of stuff, I think that you would probably... I've heard for years people banging on about Mallory Knox.
Yeah,
so
me too.
I'd say a lot of people probably like them within that genre, but as I'm sure a lot of you are aware, that's not my genre, really. I don't delve into it much because it's not my sort of thing. But from what I heard, very good at what they do.
Okay. Part of my thing says fans of Biffy Clyro will enjoy them, but that might not be so true now because you like Biffy Clyro.
I'd have to listen to more. You could be right, but like you said, we might have listened to 2 or 3 completely different tracks.
True.
Yeah. So I did put alt rock as well, so you could be right.
Yeah. So I've written, they're actually quite good too. Easy listening, very, very slight feel of a more sort of modern indie, I wanted to say, guitar sound. I don't know if
Yeah.
that's even a thing.
No.
Oh yeah. So when I say modern indie, I mean the bands like Biffy Clyro, like Sex is on Fire. Those, I don't know if that's like modern indie. I don't know what that is classed as.
I mean, that was like what? That's like 15, 20
Well, it's
years
not
ago
modern.
now.
Oh,
So it's
not
not. It's
modern.
definitely not modern.
But it's not indie from the 90s. What would that? I don't know what it is.
No, I get what you mean. Well, you could just say it 2000s indie
2000.
would be the way that you.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. I didn't know that's what it was actually classed as. That's why I wanted to clarify. That's what I've always thought it was, but never had it confirmed.
Well, I'm not saying I'm like the encyclopedia of what indie is ranked as, but it's definitely not modern because it was quite a while ago.
Shut up. Good point. Good point. Very good point. But yeah, those types of bands that use instruments but are still mostly in the mainstream.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, not anymore. We wouldn't see an indie band getting into the charts now, but yeah.
Would you not? I haven't paid attention
to
anything.
Pop music, man. It's pop music.
Okay. All right.
And occasionally Sleep Token for some reason.
Sleep Token. But also, I saw today there's a little song from Minecraft that Jack Black sings. It's like 43 seconds or something. And that jumped above Sleep Token in the charts. I hit like number
I'm not
21
surprised.
in the charts or something.
This Minecraft movie has become a meme train.
Yeah.
It's memed its way to making a shed load of money. But I've heard the film isn't actually that bad as well. So it probably, for all the right reasons, has been quite a hit with people.
Yeah.
So
I'd want to say Barbieheimer, Oppen Barbie, was the same thing. It was a big meme and people went to watch them because of the meme.
Yeah, I think that was sort of more based around the films themselves, though, being good. I think that that Minecraft is more of a meme powered machine than those two.
I haven't seen it. Kelly took the kids to watch it about a week ago.
I've heard and watched some reviews and stuff, and people saying, well, the film overall it's not a terrible movie. Kids would obviously love it, and Minecraft is huge. So yeah.
Back to Mallory Knox. Fans of Biffy will probably like them. I'd say Biffy are probably a lot more popular in the mainstream, which then turned more people against them. That's what I felt about it. So, like, I mean,
it's kind of sad because Biffy are such a good band.
Yeah.
It's a bit of a shame, really, that we kind of lost them to the Reading crowd when, in fact, they started at Download.
Yeah.
So they should have really been our band rather than the mainstream's band, but unfortunately they made music that was so good that everyone else wanted to listen to it. So.
Yeah, I'm sure they've written that about somebody else as well. But like, so with Mallory Knox, like people probably don't hate them because they haven't had the success that Biffy got.
Oh, I get you. Yeah, they haven't been so dipped in the mainstream.
Yeah,
yes,
that's why I wrote that about Biffy. I'm not just talking about Biffy the whole time. We won't be talking about Mallory Knox. But yeah, I did quite good. Anyway, let's stop talking about Mallory Knox and Biffy Clyro. Let's talk about Dayseeker. CITBN era incoming. That's all that is on their bio. Okay. What would you say about that?
I would say they sound like Bring Me the Horizon if Bring Me the Horizon hadn't been a disgusting metal band in their past life. I put overproduced modern metal. Don't like it at all. Crazy that I've never even heard of this band before. They have over 1 million monthly listeners and are headlining a stage at Download.
Yeah. I agree. I think I've written... Yeah, I've heard of a few of their songs before. They seem to have blown up all of a sudden since we started getting all these Bring Me the Horizon clones. Although I think I did go back through their discography, and they started in like 2014, I want to say. So they have been around for a while. But they do sound similar to Bring Me the Horizon. I was not that bothered by them, but who knows? If I see them live, maybe I'll enjoy them more. Again, the same as Bring Me the Horizon. This did make me think about all these bands that are blowing up very quickly. Like, it's so easy to do it now. Well, I say not easy. I couldn't do it. But it is a lot.
Yeah, can you tell me how we can do it?
It's a lot easier.
Do you know the secret
to do it? You're not relying on like record labels to bring you in and exploit you like they used to. It's easy to go viral basically. And I'm wondering if there's going to be a lot of these bands that just don't last very long. They don't stand the test of time. Similar to like YouTubers and streamers. Like I've noticed, some of them can just absolutely blow up really, really quickly, and they're around for 2-3 years, and they're dropped as quick as they blew up. And people like, was it PewDiePie and Ninja on YouTube? They were the biggest YouTubers. It felt like a long time, but it was probably only maybe like 4 or 5 years, and now they've dropped again. And it's Mr. Beast. Mr. Beast's going to drop. I'm wondering if it's going to be the same with bands now. Now that it's so easy for them to sort of manufacture their own.
Definitely some of these bands that have grown in a very short space of time won't be around for long, but some of them will stand the test of time and stick around. It will be interesting to sort of look back at these sorts of lineups in like 10 years and be like, oh yeah, they went off, or they stayed around. Oh my god, they're headlining the festival now. But it's similar with any bands. But yeah, I get what you mean. It's much quicker to suddenly blow up now. Whether that's a good thing for a band or not is debatable, because sometimes it is better to kind of get bigger slowly. Like some bands have like 3 or 4 albums until anyone really takes notice of them. Yeah. And they seem to have honed their craft by that point, and you're getting the best version of that band rather than an immediate version of that band, which isn't always the best version of it. No. So I think it's a double-edged sword, really.
Yeah. Okay, so moving on to the Opus stage. First up is Sophie Lloyd. Sophie Lloyd's journey from viral guitarist to rock sensation has redefined the bedroom musician. With 250 million views and 4 million followers, Sophie gained recognition through viral covers and original music. As guitarist for Machine Gun Kelly's mainstream sellout world tour, she's played Madison Square Garden, Wembley Arena and major festivals. She's done loads of collaborations with like loads of people, like not just people, businesses and things like that, Amazon Prime, Ubisoft, games, and bands, Lizzie Hale, etc. She's massive, absolutely massive. What do you feel about Sophie Lloyd?
I've put in classic 80s style rock guitarist, harkening back to your sort of White Snake days. Good guitar player. I've put in, has loads of vocalist features, really good. Not for me, her kind of stuff that she does. It didn't really grab me anything, but I've written make of that what you will.
Okay, cool. It's interesting. Obviously a very talented guitarist. The instrumental songs I listened to were obviously very good, but it's hard to draw people in to listen to you for those songs alone. That's probably why she sort of teamed up with. There was 3 main ones that I could see. It was Lizzie Hale, Matt Heafy, and Chris Robertson. You team up with them to bring people in because people come in for lyrics. And I found it difficult to actually listen to the music after that. So it was like I was listening because she's a guitarist, listening for her, but couldn't concentrate on that very much because I was listening to the lyrics and the vocals. So it's kind of a similar double-edged sword to what you just said. But again, still absolutely amazing. I thought the same with, obviously we're not the classic 80s style guitarist. And we've talked about them a little bit before. You don't really see many of them anymore, or not any new ones coming up. The new ones that are coming up are all women, which is odd. Well, it's not odd, but because I noticed a while back it was Nita Strauss is another one. I don't know if you've heard of her, but I
she's played with a couple of bands, hasn't she? Some other band. I don't know what bands, but she's been involved in some bands, so she's good as well.
And I sort of delved a little bit into her, and I was just listening, and I was thinking, getting absolutely blown away by it. It was amazing.
Yeah.
So yeah, again, like I said, Sophie Lloyd is really good. Do we think she's going to have anybody come out and sing with her, or is it just going to be a guitar workshop?
I'm sure someone will come out and sing.
Yeah, awesome. But yeah, very, very good. Sophie Lloyd, that was. Kim Dracula is up next. Surfacing from the flesh-eating diseases and torrential wildfires of Australia, Kim Dracula has arrived to create turbulent, creative art that mirrors the chaotic world around us. On the track, Make Me Famous, we reach a gluttonous feast of violence, chaos, and satire. In addition to being extreme and multifaceted lyrically and visually, Make Me Famous dwarfs Dracula's previous musical output by abrasively combining multiple styles. Composed instrumentally by Kim Dracula themselves, including metal, industrial, jazz, trap, and Latin music in a single song without flying off the rails, Dracula's latest release, Drown, is more melodic song, yada yada yada. Lots of cool stuff there. Kim Dracula.
I've written some sort of weird metal trap goth hybrid. Very
exactly
weird.
What they said.
I normally like weird things, but I didn't like this.
Yeah.
I just it didn't click with me at all. And I listened to quite a number of tracks to sort of get a feel, because I thought, well, this is quite weird. But yeah, so something wasn't gluing with me. I can appreciate what it is and how different it is in parts, and how all over the fucking place. Good production as well, but yeah, just didn't do it for me.
Yeah. Okay. In response to the write-up, I was like, absolutely right there. The music is all over the place, but it also makes sense and works, which is the craziest thing about it. Like, it's not for me either at all, not the sort of thing I listen to. But it was, sometimes you could just tell when things are good and when people are going to like something. And it was really good.
I think there are things similar that I like much more, like Ghostmane being a perfect example of an artist that sounds very similar to Kim Dracula, but I like his stuff infinitely more. I'm not sure why.
Okay,
it would hook me, but it has those trap elements, those heavy stuff. He used to be like a deathcore producer, so he's got all these horrible beats, and then like deathcore, and then it goes into trap, and it's fucking weird. But that I really, really like. Okay. But this just didn't. I don't know. It didn't feel, as good for me.
Yeah, I'm gonna go and listen to Ghostmane and see what I think.
Yeah, okay, that's some fucked up shit right now, man. In the same vein, you'll probably think, okay, know exactly where I am. But yeah, in a good way.
Cool.
Yeah.
So that was Kim Dracula. Currents are on after. No stranger to turning a critical eye toward both the external commotion and internal battles that rage deep within the confines of one's own mind. Post-metalcore innovators, Currents don't pretend that life is a bed of well-manicured roses. Rather, it has been a by way of exploring the forbidden realms of a tortured psyche, even, and ferociously searching for meaning amidst uncertain chaos, that the band has won the hearts of metal fans across the globe. A feat evidenced by 80+ million catalogue streams and packed tours supporting lots of people. Currents. What do you think of Currents?
I've got modern metalcore / a bit of tech metal. Overall, very good, but like all modern metalcore, didn't make me feel anything at all. And this is just going to be a slight quick rant. This is the main problem for me with modern metalcore stuff: is all the music is good, all the riffs are good, all the vocals are good, all the production is good, but it never makes me feel anything.
Yeah.
It doesn't have any edge. It doesn't have any sort of, something to really grab my attention or to push it out. And I get this with almost every modern metalcore sort of within that pool. There are obviously varying bits off of that. But this is just another one of those for me. It's like, this is fine. Everything is good, but somehow that makes me not like it. I don't really know how to explain, but that is my complete story with modern metalcore bands.
Yeah.
It's all great, but it does nothing for me. Makes me feel absolutely nothing. And again, these guys, good riffs, good production, good vocals, nothing from it.
Yeah. There was a chat in the Discord a little while back about how modern metalcore sounds too good now. It's too well produced. And similar to what we spoke about earlier, it needs to have that sort of edge to it. Like you were saying, it can't sound too good. It's not supposed to sound too good. When it starts sounding too good, it loses its personality.
Yes, summed up perfectly. It's exactly what I get
Yeah.
from it.
So what I've written is, from their looks, band name, and some of the cover art, I was not expecting them to be or have any heavy parts in their songs, but I was pleasantly surprised. Think 100 Reasons with a bit more heaviness. That's what I've written. And that was Currents. Next on the lineup is AWOL Nation. Aaron Bruno, the de facto leader, songwriter, and creative force behind the Los Angeles-based project AWOL Nation, has spent the better part of 2 decades steering the band's ship of pop-friendly electronic and alternative rock to millions of record sales and streams, a handful of chart-topping singles, and countless shows played to adoring fans around the world. From the 2010s debut smash Sail and the hype of the sophomore album Run to 2018's organic-leaning Here Come the Runts and 2020's Rock Forward, etc. Ooh, yeah. I don't know. I was skipping that bit, but it's just, the bottom bit doesn't make any sense. So let's keep going. Bruno has mined his sonic creativity for an output of music on par with anyone's from the last 2 decades. Following the pandemic, Bruno parted ways with his record label in favour of a new self-releasing distribution partnership, formed a hardcore band called the Barbarians of California, and became a first-time father of twin boys. Okay, that does make sense. I just needed to skip to the correct bit, not skip too far ahead. AWOL Nation.
I've put electronic / alt pop. Very well done, great production, massive sounding band. Just listening to them, I would assume that they were European, but they're actually from America. Like, when I heard them, I thought, oh, this is definitely some sort of fucking weird European band. But no, they're actually from the USA. But I'll say again, does this belong on a download lineup?
No, I don't.
Question
think
mark.
it does.
So again, the same question. Very good musically, all great stuff. But yeah, again, the big sort of asterisk question mark. Does it belong on a download lineup? And I can't tell you the answer to that question. I'm asking everyone else.
Yeah. I was just skipping through a minute. So you got who's headlining this one? You got the dark above these. So going down lineup, you got the Darkness, Eagles of Death Metal, Polaris. You could have a great band in there. Was it Polaris? Metalcore. You'd have a great metalcore band that will lead into the next band, or yeah. Why have they been booked over any Swedish band would do?
Throw in any Swedish band in there, and they'll just fit in perfectly.
Amaranth. We'd love to have Amaranth back at download. So they're probably they're probably about the right size to go in there as well, probably.
Everyone, go at Andy Copping on X and put hashtag Adam Cox to book download.
Yes, exactly.
All right.
And we'll move it to Sweden. Find a racetrack over there. And we'll go back into the racetrack, into the big middle of the racetrack. Hey, take that download. Checkmate. Exactly what it says on the tin. The song Sail is absolutely huge. I cannot put my finger on where I know it from. And it's bugged me ever since I listened to it. I'm sure you know the one.
Yeah, it could be a TV show.
That's what I think. It's got to be on a TV show.
Yeah, it must be. It must be a TV show. Yeah.
Well, it was definitely on Vikings. But I don't remember. I don't think I remember it from Vikings. But I've heard it hundreds of times, I reckon. So it's got to be on something where it was played every episode or something.
A lot. Yeah, for you to remember it.
It's just weird, yeah. Or advert or something like that. But yeah, absolutely massive song. When I heard it, I was like, "What is this band doing at download? This isn't the correct song. No, this isn't the sort of thing I was expecting to hear. You know, on the second stage as well, in the middle of the day at download.
Yeah. It's a weird choice. There are a few weird choices on this lineup so far, and this is one of them. Yeah.
That was AWOL Nation. Polaris. Fear, humanity's great divider, but also its most potent unifier. It's this very notion that lies at the beating core of Polaris' third album, Fatalism, a record shaped by the sense of despair and dystopia that engulfing the world over the past few years and the overwhelming accompanying sensation that we were powerless to change course. Eventually steeped in angst and catharsis, an expanded thematic gaze, and heavier sonic terrain. Yeah, some fancy words in there. I ain't going to read any more, though. What do you think of Polaris?
Now, as you remember, a band ago, I had a rant about modern metalcore. However, I really like these guys because their production isn't as sterile. They've got a good sound, a good vibe, and they actually have a bit of edge to them. So yeah, I was pleasantly surprised by how much I like Polaris. I've got friends that have been banging on about this band for years, and I've never bothered because I've thought that they were a lot like the other sort of bands that I don't like.
Yeah.
But as it turns out, these guys are slightly different. And yeah, I was digging it. I was thinking, wow, okay, I think this is a band that I may listen to more of and actually take the time to get into.
Yeah.
But
nice.
yeah, really liked them. Thought they were great.
I'm the same. I actually, oh dear, knocking that. I'm the same. I quite enjoyed Polaris straight out of the bat. I've written kind of metalcore, probably modern metalcore. That's punchy but very melodic, clean vocals. I think, yeah. So in my mind, when I was listening to this, I was thinking it's the kind of metalcore that you don't like, and it is very much the newer metalcore bands. I feel like it's too. Sometimes they're trying to be too catchy with the clean vocals. They're trying too hard to get something really catchy that will hook people in. It goes too far, I think. You think of I'm not going to go into anything else. I think I already know a lot of Polaris' songs from their sound. I didn't listen to loads, but there's definitely two that I heard today. Definitely two on there that I heard that I did already know. It was most likely on the Bring Me the Horizon playlist that I listened to for like 6 months straight.
Okay. There must have been a couple of tracks on there, yeah.
That. But yeah, I've also put very good. I'll definitely catch them if I can. Yeah, I really like them.
Me too.
Cool. That was Polaris, Eagles of Death Metal. The collaboration of lifelong friends Jesse Hughes and Josh Homme. Is it Homme? I can't remember how you pronounce his name. We talked about him loads last year.
Yeah, you pronounce the E.
Homme,
I think it was.
Jesse Hughes and Josh Homme, Eagles of Death Metal, grew from a side project into a full-fledged band with a riff-heavy tongue-in-cheek identity of its own. Despite their name, the band's music is a revved-up blend of garage rock, boogie rock, and hard rock with elements of glam rock, blues rock, and swamp rock added in for good measure. Their quickly recorded 2004 debut Peace, Love, Death Metal introduced Hughes and Holmes' music at its scrappiest, while later albums such as Heart On and Zipper Down took a more polished but still brash approach. No. I think that's all I'm going to read for that one. What do you think of them?
Yeah, I've got classic style like garage rock with comedy elements. Obviously, they don't take themselves too seriously. It's good, but I've personally never been on board with it. There's something about it I clearly am not getting. And still to this day, I don't get it. So, although very good, it's a no from me.
Yeah, same for me. Again, exactly what it says on the tin. Although I'd love to know what swamp rock is. But
it's a great name.
Yeah, really not for me though. Do you know what swamp rock is? No,
I don't know.
Okay, cool. Yeah, that was Eagles of Death Metal. I'd imagine most of the people that will like that sort of thing will know about them already because they're pretty big.
Yes, they are.
Worth checking out if you're into that kind of thing. The Darkness is up next. New album, Dreams on Toast, March 2025. So it's already out. Go on then, The Darkness.
Oh, The Darkness. Yeah, I've got Queen style sort of 70s rock. I personally think these guys are a hell of a lot of fun. Great musicians. I love loads of their albums, quite a few. Permission to Land, their first one, was a massive party album for my group of friends. Every time I'd have a party, Permission to Land would probably go on about 3 times on repeat, with everyone dancing and singing along to all the songs. And yeah, their last couple of albums have been great, including the new one, which is really, really good. So I've been thoroughly enjoying that.
Oh, was that one Dreams on Toast from March 2025?
Dreams on Toast, yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah, well done. You know it. You know it, do you?
Yeah. No, I don't.
So they're another one for me that's time permitting, pretty much locked in.
Yeah.
I would love to just have a couple of brewskis and just watch the darkness and have a whole lot of fun. That's what they're about. That's what, that's what I'm here for, and I'm on board for it.
Awesome. Yeah, we've spoken about the Darkness before. I really did not like them when they first came around. I didn't like glam or any other of the similar genres that they're going for. But these past couple of years, I've grown to understand and appreciate them. I really have. And I completely understand how they got as big as they did now. At the time, I was just like, it was a bit rubbish.
They were just so different then to anything else that was out. They were just literally completely different. So you can understand why they... But again, I feel like that was a double-edged sword for them as well, because I feel like they got too big too quickly. Yeah. And I think that had an effect on them afterwards and the way that people perceived them, maybe.
Well, I just assumed they didn't do anything after the first album, after Permission to Land.
See? That's what I mean. There was no gradual growth. It was just growth straight away. So people just thought, oh, well, the Darkness have fallen off because I haven't heard from them in a while. But it's only because they didn't have any more songs in the top 10. So why would you hear from them?
Yeah.
But like Justin Hawkins is a top dude. He is an absolute legend. He really is. He's a great guitar player, very intelligent guy, fucking great singer as well. I just love the Darkness. They're brilliant.
Yeah, I think I'll try and catch them if I can now that I appreciate it a bit more than I used to.
Yeah, man, come on, Saturday. Let's have a drink, dude, and just stand there and enjoy some classic rock, man.
It's interesting. I've looked at both the Friday and the Saturday bands. Not once. I probably did it ages ago, but since doing these episodes, I haven't looked and tried to compare who I'm actually going to be seeing at what point. Yeah.
Oh,
so,
I get you.
Yeah. I don't know. I'll probably be able to come. I don't know yet. But yeah, similar. You said Queen. So I've always sort of thought no one can be like Queen. But as I've also written, Growing on Me came on just as I was about to finish writing, and it stopped me in my tracks. And then musically, it just reminded me of Queen. And I was just like,
definitely,
it's a feel good music. Like, good.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, like as soon as they came out, that's what I thought. I thought obviously they're huge Queen fans, but I am such a massive Queen fan that I was like, I instantly love this. Yeah. This is so good. Yeah. So that'll probably be why me and my friends liked it, because we're all huge Queen fans.
Yeah.
So as soon as the Darkness came out, we were just like, well, obviously we're all going to like this. So yeah,
awesome. And that was the Darkness. Next up is Sex Pistols with Frank Carter. There was a big write-up for them, obviously about the original band. They didn't invent punk rock, and they weren't the first British punk band to perform on record, but no band did more to turn punk into a global cultural phenomenon than the Sex Pistols. In just over 2 years, the group's success de Scandale, I have no idea what that is, took them from utter obscurity to global infamy. Beloved by converts to punk rock, hated by nearly everyone else, and subject to legal and vigilante persecution in their native England, the Sex Pistols' music was not formally groundbreaking, yet their simple meat and potatoes rock was filled with power and aggression that was all but unknown in the mid-70s. I want to stop. And I was going to stop that sentence at some point. They were massive. They probably don't need much of an introduction anyway. What do you think?
I don't know. Will the young people listening really know who the Sex Pistols are necessarily?
I don't know. That's something I've been thinking about recently. Not necessarily about the Sex Pistols. They'll probably know who they are. Yeah, I would say so. Would they have listened to them? Maybe.
Yeah, most people would. Not many listen to them, but yeah. Obviously, like you can't really sum up how legendary the Sex Pistols are. I mean, personally, I've never been a fan at all, and I like punk.
Yeah.
But the Sex Pistols have just never really done it for me. A couple of their songs, obviously, I like just because they're such big punk songs, but I would never go out of my way to listen to the Sex Pistols. But I would say that with Frank Carter, that changes things, because he is such a fantastic frontman, vocalist, everything. I feel like with him, it might be worth watching just because he's so good. He might elevate some of their stuff. But obviously, you know, people that have been fans for years would probably completely disagree with that. But yeah, I've never really been a fan, so I can say that, and it doesn't really mean anything.
No. Okay. Yeah, I listened a bit. I can't say I've ever been too interested in the Sex Pistols either. But I did a bit of reading about them while listening. I learned a bit more about them, and it made me want to dig deeper as well. I mean, they were a massive band, and like I said, they blew up massively. But there's not that much hype around them. Well, probably is quite a bit of hype around them, but not as much as I would have expected. And I was wondering why. I was wondering what happened to like their other band members or something. So I was reading about it just to try and find out. And I was listening and reading, and that intrigued me more, and it made me want to listen more as well, which was interesting. But that's another thing we've said. Like, when you know more about a band and where they came from, and you know, you might have an album that you don't like, but they struggled in the studio with it or something. You know, some things were happening, and when you know that bit, then you understand the music a bit more, and you take a step back and go, okay.
That lore gives you like a little more. You think about the album more while you're listening to it, which totally. I get that. I like that.
But so like I said, knowing a bit more made me want to listen a bit more, and I'll catch them if I'm about. But I haven't figured any of that out yet. That was they're headlining the Opus stage, aren't they? Yeah, the second stage.
They are indeed. I
should have said that at the beginning.
It'll probably be packed for that, so it's probably to sort of counteract the Sleep Token people. It's probably a good idea, and I think also putting Cradle of Filth headlining the fourth stage is a good idea as well, because all the metalers will be like, Sleep Token, no thank you. But so I have a feeling that the Cradle of Filth tent will also be pretty fucking packed.
Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, pretty well.
Yeah, they've done well with the choosing the headliners on this one, I think.
Yeah. Okay, so opening the Apex stage is Static Dress. www.staticdress.com. What do you think of Static Dress?
Lovely. Yeah, I know. I've spoken about this band many times. Really great band. Like post-hardcore sort of stuff. Screamo. They always reminded me of bands like Glassjaw. They got a little bit of Funeral for a Friend in there. A little bit of From Autumn to Ashes. The sort of older Screamo / post-hardcore stuff. Just a great sounding band. Amazing tunes. Absolutely insane band live. Absolutely just crazy. Do not give a fuck. It's going to be a proper tasty opener for the main stage, and I will try my absolute hardest to be there for it, because I know Friday is going to be a very drunk night. Yeah. So there is nothing more I would like to see than a really early set from Static Dress on the main stage, especially, which will be, I can guarantee you for them, it will be a massive deal to play on the main stage at Download. It will be really, really a big deal for them. So yeah, very excited, and fingers crossed I'm not too hungover, because Friday's going to be a big day. I can feel it already.
Yeah.
So
yeah, cool. I quite like what I've heard so far. I know I've tried to listen to them a few times before, and I couldn't get into them. I was probably kind of busy at work or something. But now that I'm actually listening with intent, I appreciate them a bit more, because you've talked about them loads, and I definitely have tried to listen to them loads because of you. But yeah, like I said, I must have always just been busy doing something, never really took it in. They remind me of someone, but I can't put my finger on who. And I've also written, so I don't know why I've read that as it's written, because I could put my finger on who eventually. Maybe 36 Crazy Fist a little bit. But I'd want to listen to some more.
Okay, I could kind of hear some of that in there. Yeah, okay. I wouldn't have picked that out, but now you mention it, yes.
Yeah. Oh, good. Excellent.
Well noticed. Yeah, no, definitely. There's definitely, I can hear it now. You've said that.
Excellent. Yeah, but I did really like them. Coming off script, I really liked what I heard of them this time around, and I was quite happy.
I always thought with those sorts of, Yeah, with those sort of funeral for friendy kind of bits, there's like a little bit of that sort of dashed around in there. I thought that you would glue with them a bit quicker than this, but obviously you just haven't been in the right mindset for it.
Yeah, I was quite pleased when I actually started to like them. I was like, oh, Simon's going to like this. Simon's going to be happy that I like them. So that was Static Dress. And yeah, I agree with you. I'll try and get him with you for them. Next on the main stage is Loathe. I let it in and it took everything. www.loathsome.co.uk. That's not a com one, that's a co.uk. What do you think of Loathe? I know you like Loathe.
Nice. Yes, I love this band. Modern metal with, big shoegaze influences, massive shades of Deftones, and all that sort of chuggy 2000 stuff. Obviously, their album, I let it in and it took everything. I mean, it's an incredible piece of work. It really is. It's an album that got critical acclaim and for the right reasons. They still haven't released an album since that, and that was 2020 now. So it's been a long time that we've been waiting for some proper. They released an instrumental album afterwards, but a proper Loathe album we have literally been chomping at the bit for. But yeah, I've liked them for a long time now, long time. And I'm definitely happy about how big they got. I saw them support Korn in Gunnersbury, which was fantastic. Nice. That was great to see so many sort of new people almost discovering them, which is good. They're always good live. They're always a treat. So they're another band that I have green lighted for myself to stay and watch if time permits. Obviously, I'm going by bands that I want to see, but not all of those times will work out. Yeah. So I'm sure I'll have to weigh up my options, but they are another band that I would love to catch.
Cool. Another band that you told me to listen to before. I think that was a long time ago, and I think I checked them out. I think it's exactly the same story as Static Dress. It didn't grip me to start with, but I quite enjoy them now after listening to them today. So I want to listen to some more.
I'm more surprised by that one than I am about Static Dress.
Yeah, I think I enjoyed it. I cannot remember any of the songs right now. I've had to listen to so many bands the last couple of days, but that's what I wrote as I was listening to it. So I'll listen to some
They're
more.
A very pretty sounding band. Like they've got some filthy songs that are like really horrible, but they're very pretty. So I can see why people would go, "This is just nice."
Yeah.
It just sounds nice. I like it. So yeah, I get that.
Cool.
Yeah.
And that was Loathe. Next on the main stage is Hatebreed. With unflinching tenacity, the impenetrable heavy metal hardcore factory that is Hatebreed has brought forth yet another iron-cast sonic weapon with Weight of the False Self. It comes as no surprise that their 8th full-length album is the result of the usual sweat and blood that have cemented Hatebreed's unique niche in the world of music for over 2 decades. Cool. Lots of more stuff about Hatebreed. There's like a wall of text. I ain't going to read that. Hatebreed.
Yes, Hatebreed. Absolutely fantastic metal band. Loads of great tracks, awesome metal breakdowns, angsty, angry vocals, gang vocals. Just some great albums as well. I think every time I go to listen to Hatebreed, I do have a lot of Hatebreed songs on playlists and stuff, but I always forget how many fucking great tracks this band has. Like every time I'm like, oh my God, banger. Oh my God, banger. Oh my God, banger. Like they're just like that. And I was obviously lucky enough to catch them at Bloodstock last year where they absolutely destroyed the place.
Yeah.
So yeah, again, another big green tick for me. I would love nothing more than to watch Hatebreed on the main stage. Although I feel like maybe the main stage isn't the best place for them, but I think that they'll still do well on that stage.
Yeah. Okay, cool.
Just the destruction they caused at Bloodstock last year was, everyone was doing that dirty metal face because it was just like, this is just filth. It's fucking great. It was great to watch.
Oh, is that Stu's stank face? That one? Is that the dirty?
I think that probably was his stank face, yeah.
We're both taking the piss out of Stu today. Stank face of the week.
Hey, Stu. Fuck you, buddy.
You said it in such a happy way.
Because he's a good friend of mine. I don't want to offend him. I just want to, in a nice way, just say, fuck you, buddy.
Kind of Canadian South Park way. It was too nice a way.
Yeah, even when you're being nasty, you're being nice, which sounds very something that a Canadian would do. So yeah, I get that.
That last band was Hatebreed. We need to move on. Poppy is up next.
We do.
I'm poppy.com. That's it.
You have to visit all these websites before we go to download. Poppy, I've written pop metal? ? Good production value. All sounds good. Totally not my thing at all. So it doesn't speak to me in any way. But I guess I can see why she's got so popular. But for me, yeah, fine. If you enjoy it, you crack on. But it's totally out of my wheelhouse.
Yeah. So I've written, okay, I get it now. Poppy is another Bring Me Horizon clone. That's why they're so popular. Probably one of the early ones I've heard with a female singer. So yeah, maybe that's why. Just blown up so much. That's what I thought when I was listening. It's like all the stops, the music stopped in all the same places, and then little bits in the background and started again, and the vocals were
I get you.
The melodies were the same, and loads of stuff was the same. Maybe it was just the one song that I listened to. Maybe I don't know if I listened to any more than that. Did I listen to? I can't remember. I'll listen to some more. I could be wrong, but that's what I thought. So that was Poppy. Moving on to Palais Royale, Death or Glory, XXX. That's Palais Royale's write-up. We're doing well. Thank you guys for not having long ones, because it's very late.
Palais Royale. Rock/alt rock, alternative rock. For some reason, I thought these guys were an old emo band. I must have been getting them confused with someone for years, and I don't know who the fuck that was, but I really like these guys. Like, I thought their sound was great. The music was really well done. I thought the vocals were catchy and awesome. I really dug this, like, a lot. And I've added loads of songs to a playlist. Okay. So again, I'm a bit annoyed with myself that I was clearly getting them mixed up with some other band. I don't know who that would be. But for some reason, whenever I saw that name, I just thought of old emo. Yeah. But they're totally not that at all.
I'm trying to figure out who it was, but I'm not.
Yeah, I'll have to. I'm sure if I see it somewhere else, I'll be like, "That's the band I'm getting it mixed up with." But I thought it was some old emo band. I don't fucking know why. This happens sometimes. Things mash together in my brain, and I'm like, "That wasn't right." But yeah, I loved them. I thought they were brilliant. Really, really good. So yeah, I was listening to them a lot today, actually. Really digging them, and they are another band. There's a lot of main stage bands that have been green ticked by me, but I'd love to watch them. They're not quite late in the day, but they're getting towards the end of the day. So I don't know how that looks on the other stages. So I might not get to, but I've definitely green ticked them to say that I would love to watch them and see what they're like live.
Cool. I was not a fan. So I've written, okay, they're not bad. Oh, okay. Been hearing the name for years now. I've never checked them out before. I'm sure there'll be a lot of fun. But not for me. That was Palais Royale. Don Broco, a band I don't think we've ever spoken about, even though they've been in and around our sort of space for a long time.
Definitely been around. Yeah, I think they've played pretty much all the other festivals that we've talked about. Yeah. So
I think they've played Download before as well, but
I think they have. Yeah. I think we might have talked about them briefly.
Oh, maybe.
I think I remember them being pretty high up on the Avalanche stage at one point.
I'll have to go back and have a look. Always unique and forever pushing boundaries. Don Broco are never ones to follow the trend, and the new album Amazing Things, which will be released on 22nd of October via Sharp Tone Records, is very aptly named. It's yet another genre-bending masterpiece with electro, rock, pop, metal and more, all wrapped up in their own unique blend, bringing to mind the likes of Deftones, Beastie Boys, Linkin Park, and Limp Bizkit, amongst others, etc. They've done a lot of stuff and won a lot of things and like a lot of people too. Do you like Don Broco?
No. Sorry, I don't want this to come off really bad. I've put down like energetic alt rock, some little sprinkles of metal here and there, but a strange one. This band just sound off to me. I don't know what it is about them, but so I can't get into them. It sort of sounds fractured to me, this band. I can't. I think it's because my brain can't quite work out what they are. Right. So it sort of just like puts them in this little grey corner by themselves and goes, I'm not sure. Sitting over there, I'm not sure what that is, so I don't like it. So one day my brain might come together like a Rubik's Cube and go, oh my God, I really like this band. That hasn't happened yet. So because my brain can't work out what they are, they kind of sound like everyone and themselves, but also they don't sound like anything. I have a real hard time processing this band, and I'm not sure why, and I haven't worked it out. So no, I don't like them currently. That could change over time.
I'm not the biggest fan of them either. I remember when we first moved into our first house, like 2015, one of their songs was on TV all the time because we didn't have very much. So it was always Kerrang or Scuzz on the TV, and it absolutely grew on me, and I ended up absolutely loving that one song. And then I think I wanted to listen to some more at one point, and I was not interested in any more of their other stuff. I'm sure they'll be great. They're quite high up.
They headlined Trees last year.
Yeah.
So that's a big deal.
That's true. I guess it's just that I don't know anybody who's a fan of them, so I don't follow them at all, or I don't know anybody else who's following them to talk to me about what they're doing or anything like that. I don't read magazines. Does anybody read magazines anymore?
I was shocked the other day. I walked into a shop and I thought, oh, there's a Metal Hammer there. I'll have a look and see how much it is. I was like, it's like fucking £9 for a magazine.
Is it? Jesus.
I was like, no one sells magazines anymore.
You get everything online as well now.
I know, it's a shame. I was a big advocate for magazines, and I've got an amazing Metal Hammer collection that you have to come around and look at one day, because I've got them going all the way back to 1998. Like, have you? Nice. They're fucking insane. So we have to look through those at some point. But yeah,
we will.
I think I look at magazines now, and a little bit of my heart breaks every time I look at a magazine rack now, because it's just not the same time. And yeah, I do get a little sad when a bit of my heart just went, oh God. Oh, I wonder if they're all
archived. They probably are somewhere, but it's probably difficult to find. But similar to you, so at some point I want to try and collect everything download I've ever done. Maybe not everything, but like all the programs and everything. As many different types of wristbands from each year as I can. And then I thought after that, I want to try and get all of the old Kerrangs and Metal Hammers. Because more than anything, it'll be cool to have them. More than anything, it'll be cool for this podcast. We can look back and go, oh, who was this band in 1998 that aren't anywhere on the internet anymore?
Just disappeared. Yeah,
just disappeared. I mean, there's bound to be loads of bands like that.
Without a doubt.
Yeah,
without a doubt. Probably some really good ones as well that we missed out on.
Yeah. Bands that came and went before the internet really took off the way it did, and so nobody wrote it down. Nobody recorded it.
I did try and do something similar to that. So some of my favourite Metal Hammer CDs that I had downstairs on display, but they're in the loft now. I was like, I listened to this CD just over and over again as a kid. So I'm just going to recreate them as playlists.
Yeah.
But like 3 or 4 of the bands just don't exist on there. So you're like, I can't recreate these because I can't.
Yeah.
Unless I upload this to my computer and put it on like an MP3 player, it can't be the same. So that sucked a little bit.
Interesting. Cool. We should move on. It's still very late. That was Don Broco. Don Broco. Sub-headlining. On the main stage on Saturday is Shinedown. Now, multi-platinum band Shinedown, Brent Smith on vocals, sort of. The most ambitious and masterfully realised work to date. The 7th studio album. Come on, are you going to talk about anything interesting? The record-breaking band have achieved astronomical success while embodying the kind of creative dynamism.
Nice. Good
Not read that word before. Yeah, good word.
Good word.
That defies expectation and transcends boundaries. That's what we talked about. These bios aren't written to be read. If they're going to be using words like that, they write them to look good. Anyway, Shinedown. Great big radio rock, probably one of the biggest rock radio friendly American
Definitely.
bands.
I've written
like
here
them.
American radio rock, like the penultimate American radio rock band. They have loads of good songs. Loads of good songs. I was picking out songs of theirs that I like. I never go out of my way to listen to Shinedown. I don't go, oh, I'm going to stick on a Shinedown album. I sort of pick out of the stuff that I like. So it turns out there is a lot of Shinedown that I like, but I would never go, oh, I really need to listen to a Shinedown album. The last time I saw them live was 2018 at Download, and they were really good. Really good. So again, similar live, I'm not going to go out of my way to see them. That time I sort of caught them, and I thought I was really impressed. But yeah, I like this band, but I don't love this band. So if time permits, I might watch them if I want to get obviously early. Probably not though, because I think I'm going to watch The Darkness, who it might clash with slightly. So yeah, like them. They've got some great tunes, but I probably won't be checking them out.
Okay, cool. One of my favourite bands. I haven't listened to them much for a long time now. I don't really know why, to be honest, actually. Yeah, I like absolutely loads of their stuff. Listen to them to death, but I still love them. So not quite to death. Almost to death. No, not even close to almost to death. I've listened to them to life. Is that even a thing? Anyway, right. I love them. We just talked about The Darkness. I didn't really look at the fact they were clashing with these.
Oh, it might. It might be a bit of it.
Yeah,
it might be all of it.
Yeah, you're right. I've seen Shinedown probably 2 or 3 times now. I've never seen The Darkness, but I would still choose the Shinedown over almost anybody else, I think. In fact, although in 2018 I did actually choose to go and watch Breaking Benjamin instead of Shinedown. I sort of left halfway through their set, and Breaking Benjamin were boring as hell. They've got some really good heavy songs, and they played only slow, boring songs.
Oh, Jesus.
Slow, good songs, but not the best.
Not the songs
live.
you want. Yeah.
Yeah. And I was gutted that I left Shinedown, so I'll be there for as long as I can be this time.
That's
and
fair.
watch every minute of it. And so, yeah, that was Shinedown, and headlining our Sleep Token, even in Arcadia, out May the 9th, 2025, https://www.sleep-token.com/. So, was that like 6 out of the 8 bands had in the main stage had the websites?
Just websites.
Sleep Token, yeah, not much else to say. I'll give you a chance to say something in a minute if you want to, but we did a whole episode on Sleep Token back in like January sometime. So go and listen to that. But yeah, we're both going to be there, aren't we?
Oh, 100%, yeah. I mean, we said, like Ad said, we've done a whole episode, so go and check that out in one of the previous ones before, because it's really good sort of in-depth look into them. But, you know, this is lightning in a bottle. So this literally is the definitive striking while the iron's hot, shall we say. You know, this band have blown up massively. They're absolutely on fire right now, and it's the perfect time for them to headline Download Festival. So, like we said before, this could be the first time of multiple. This could be the last time. This band, who the hell knows what's going to happen? Time will only tell on that one. But yeah, I'm really excited. Really can't wait what we're in for. I love 99% of their songs. I think they're great. I think that Vessel's a great frontman. The only thing I'm worried about with this band is the main stage sound. Because if you see Sleep Token in a venue, the fucking sound is unreal. And you are like, you know, like we were talking about, you said when you feel it. Yeah. When those disgusting gent riffs kick in, you're like, oh fucking yes, please. and I just hope that they've tailored, because I can guarantee you it will look good. Their lighting is always fucking unreal. Their stage presentation is always great. I just hope that the sound is there as well to just, you know, balance everything off, because if it looks good and doesn't sound good, it won't capture everyone as much as it should. So that's the only thing I've got my fingers crossed for. Performance, I'm not worried about, because I think it's going to be great. But I want that oomph. I want that fucking, you know, punch. So and I've had a love-hate relationship with the Download main stage over the last 3 or 4 years. So we'll see. Yeah, cool. We will see, and it's going to be amazing no matter what. Like, apparently they had a
really good light show for their tour recently, didn't they?
Yeah.
Like lasers
wicked.
and stuff. Yeah. I can't say that I've followed them much, but I'm going to be there no matter what for it to see what it's like. Like you said, lightning in a bottle. Something incredible is happening this year with them headlining. So yeah, it's going to be interesting. So that is everything. Yeah, for all of the bands playing on the Saturday. We're going to start wrapping it up now, and we're going to wrap it up pretty quickly. We're not going to babble too much because it's actually very, very late now. We've spent a long time recording this one. So, Simon, anything you want to plug before we go?
No, just that my sleep token video. This is very perfect time. My sleep token video will be out as of this point, so go and check that out on YouTube if you haven't. Like I said before, Ashes by Dawn, our single, will be out as well. So Hope is Damned. So go and check that out. And yeah, come and follow me on TikTok. I've actually started to do a TikTok daily now. So if you want to come over on TikTok and join the party, that would be good as well, because there's loads of little bits that I don't put anywhere else really that are coming out of there. Tiny little bits of the vlogs and just bits of everything really. So yeah,
nice.
That's it.
And from me, I actually have something to plug for once. Say the same as I was saying last episode. I'm still super excited to do this D&D YouTube channel. Although I'm super busy with a lot of other things. We've got to open the shop. We've got to write a bloody all the things we said at the beginning of the show. Writing a live show, listening to hundreds of bands for this. So we're getting there. We'll get there eventually. So yeah, we might have 1, possibly 2 spots open still. And I've changed it a little bit. So we might not necessarily go with only people that are doing the same kind of thing as us, like YouTube, TikTok or whatever, podcasts, because we've kind of run out of people to ask. And I figured if I had to choose between asking people I know and asking strangers that are also doing YouTube or something like that, I'd rather play D&D with people that I know rather than strangers that have a YouTube. So yeah, get in touch. Even if you haven't got anything sort of to, if you're not doing anything in the same kind of space as us, get in touch and yeah, we'll talk. And also though, we are a bunch of dudes at the minute, and similar to what you and Chiz were saying in your Bloodstock videos, when it's just dudes, things can get messy. So I would love to have at least, maybe one woman in there, just to, you don't have to do anything, just be responsible for anything, but just your presence at the table will stop the guys becoming murder hobos, is what it's called in D&D. Just go around destroying everything. So yeah, if you're interested, give me a call. Not give me a call. You got my phone number. Give me a call. That's what I say at work all the time, because I work together with people. Reach out and we'll have a chat about it. And the last thing we need to do before we normally do is we did it a different way around this time. The last thing we need to do is say a massive thank you to our Patreons. All of you are massive legends. If anybody else wants to support us on Patreon, you can do. You'll find the link in the Linktree in the episode description. Every penny we get goes back into the podcast, and it really helps us out. We really, really appreciate your support. So we have to say a huge thank you to Ash Henson, Joe Butler, Marty Ellis, Mike Ferris, Andy T2, Liam Hopwood, Tom West, Vicky Rutter, Ethan Brown, Matthew, Chris Henderson, Scoot, Ben Saccone, Johnny Bravo, Dr. Pepperfont for 2025 Patreon shirt, Sean Schofield, H from Steps for download, and James. All of you are absolute massive legends. Thank you for your support. We've got to go now. It's been a long episode. It's been a long night. So it's a goodbye from Simon.
Goodbye.
Join us next episode for the Sunday bands. I forgot that last time as well, didn't I? And a goodbye from me. Goodbye.